Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to cook beef bourguignon, and even though the name is complicated to say, believe me, I've messed up like 3 times already trying to say it. It's beef stew, a French beef stew that's like marinated or cooked with red wine, cognac, burgundy. I've seen several different variations on this recipe, so I'm just going to kind of give a variation of mine. So stay tuned, let's get started. Okay, to get started on our beef bourguignon, I have a 1 gallon Ziploc bag. I have 4 carrots. Also have a couple cloves of garlic, part of an onion, some parsley, bay leaves, thyme leaves. I wish I had some fresh, but don't have any. Some Cabernet Sauvignon. If you want Pinot Noir, that's fine. That would actually probably be better, but I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a marinade. So anyway, so let's get started. First thing we want to do is peel and dice our garlic. And I'm just going to kind of do this into slices. Okay. So let's put that in the bag. Now I'm just going to kind of rough cut this. I'm not going to chop it up or anything. And we're going to put this in the bag as well. Ziploc bags make handy things to marinate stuff in. So let's peel our carrots real quick. So I'm going to kind of diagonal slice these. Put 1 bay leaf in there. I have 2 small ones. And about a half a teaspoon of the dried thyme. And roughly 3 tablespoons of the chopped parsley. Off here. So I'll put that in our bag as well. So now what I want to do is I have, it's a arm roast. You can use stew meat if you want. For what I paid for this, the stew meat was about the same price, and I figure this is probably a little bit better cut of meat. So, what I want to do here is I want to cut this into roughly about 1-inch cubes, maybe just a little bit bigger. About that size. It's probably a little bit bigger than one. That's probably more like 2 inches. Now what I want to do is I want to put the meat in this bag. And I'm going to pour roughly 2 cups, more or less, maybe more, I don't know, of the wine in there. Okay, so that's more than 2 cups. It's probably closer to 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let this marinate for about 3 hours, and then we will come back and finish this off cooking it. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a bowl just in case it leaks. What we'll do is I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, leave it for about 3 hours, and I'll turn it once or twice while it's in there to make sure all the meat and everything gets coated really good with the wine and the spices that are in there. So we'll be back and finish cooking this. Okay, our meat's been marinating for about 3 hours. So what I want to do now is I want to strain that off. I'm going to keep that juice off of those because that's going to be our broth to cook our meat with. So basically what I want to do is I want to get this meat out and pat it dry with a paper towel because we're going to coat that in flour and everything, and we don't want it like really wet. So basically I just want to try to get the extra moisture off of this. See, it's kind of dry there. So we'll get all this meat done and then we will be back and flour and fry this. Okay, I put about 1/3 of a cup of flour in this and probably a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt to coat this. Okay, got some butter here. We're going to melt that. We're going to add our meat. As soon as that melts, we'll add our meat and brown that. And I'm going to put this in a big pot that I normally use for cooking. I'm going to put that in this, and that's what's going in the oven. So we'll be back in just a few minutes when our butter's melted and we got our meat browning. Okay, we got our butter going hot, so let's brown our meat. Try to just hold it a little bit higher. And I'm only going to put a few in here at a time because I really don't want to crowd them. And we'll brown these and we'll be back and I'll show you what they look like when they're done and ready to go in the pot. Okay, there we get the nice brown on that. That's what we want. So we'll add a few more and I'll scoop these off to the side. And we'll carry on. Okay, I have about 5 slices of bacon here. I'm just going to rough chop these. Okay, we've got our meat browned, and so what I'm going to do now is I've got just a little bit of bacon, about 5 slices worth, and I'm going to take and put the bacon in the skillet, and we're going to go ahead and brown the bacon, and then I'm going to throw the vegetables that I have, the that I had put in with the marinade. I'm going to put those in there. Alright. So you can see what our meat looks like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the bacon in there. Everything's good with bacon, isn't it? So I'm just basically going to stir this around a little bit, turn the heat down some. Bacon! I love the smell of bacon. I know I do. So I just want to kind of brown this up a little bit. I'm not going to cook it to death. Because like I said, it's going to go in the oven for like 2.5 hours, so there's no need to cook it till it's like totally crisp. And I did drain off the vegetables that I saved for the marinade, so I've got those actually separate from the marinade itself. So we'll add those here in just a minute. Like I said, here is our wine. I did go ahead and add the rest of the bottle that I had left from the part of marinade that I did. There's like maybe probably a cup and a half left of the wine after I drank a couple of glasses. So anyway, I went ahead and added that in there because I want to make sure that I have plenty of broth to go on there or sauce. I don't want it to be dry. And I do have my oven set to 350 degrees. I've preheated that, so I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetables to this now. Like I said, this is the carrots and the onions and all that was marinating with the meat. Smell of it, and I wish. And off to the side, I also have some mushrooms that I have cleaned up, and also a jar. I wish I actually had the small onions. Of course, I store below some small pickled onions. Well, not pickled, I don't know. They're pretty good, really. But I drain those and rinse them. So they're kind of sweet. So we're going to go ahead and stir these vegetables until they cook just a little bit. Okay, so we got our vegetables cooked a little bit. As like I said, this is going to be in the oven for 2.5 hours, so I don't really need to cook these done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my wine, pour it in there. This ought to be good. Everything's got alcohol in it. It's good, isn't it? Okay, and I'm going to turn that up just a little bit till I can get that to heat up some, and then I'm going to pour it over my meat, and then we're going to put it in the oven for 2.5 hours. So as soon as this gets up and it's simmering and it's bubbling real nice and stuff, then I'll go ahead and throw it on the meat, so we'll be back. Okay. We've got our wine and vegetables simmered, nice and warm now. So let's take and pour that onto this meat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put this in the oven at 350 degrees, cover it up, and let that cook. So we will be back whenever we're ready to roast the vegetables. We'll be back. Okay, so we got our vegetables cooked a little bit. As like I said, this is going to be in the oven for 2.5 hours, so I don't really need to cook these done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my wine, pour it in there. This ought to be good. Everything's got alcohol in it. It's good, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to to turn that up just a little bit till I can get that to heat up some, and then I'm going to pour it over my meat, and then we're going to put it in the oven for 2.5 hours. Okay, we've got our wine and vegetables simmered, nice and warm now. So let's take and pour that onto this meat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put this in the oven at 350 degrees, cover it up, and let that cook. So we will be back whenever we're ready to roast the vegetables. We'll be back. Let's put this in there and see you in about 2.5 hours. Okay, we've got like half an hour to an hour left on this. So I'm going to go ahead and add our mushrooms that we have. And also the jar of onions. And I'm going to, this is hot, I'm going to put this back into the oven with the lid off. Okay, our dinner's finally ready, and I made some egg noodles real quick.